guys, and welcome. Here we are at last to go through the entire lore of Demon's Descent Duel. It's the favorite hell of many, and I personally find the story just as exciting as the sets. And don't forget to check the description below for useful information too. Before we get into it all, I'd like to thank Benign Chaos and Crystal Rain Chimes, whose channels I highly recommend here, Noodle Oreo and E2, and really all my friends and also my dear guildies. Thank you everyone for your help and support. Now, you noticed the part 1 in the title. This video regroups all of the event lore from all stages in a chronological order, well, when possible. And 2 other videos will follow soon, much shorter thankfully, about each of the Hell event sets. I hope you'll enjoy! In the Quiet Palace, a quick shadow slashes the guards' throats, and just outside, a figure in black looks through the window. Lilith is sitting on the throne like a beautiful marionette. A man approaches. "Did you get the map of the city?" asks Zoe. Yisa nods. They've also replaced the palace's guards with their own men. Zoe orders a retreat to the ship. She underestimated the power that controls Ninir. They can't do anything for Lilith now, it's not her in there anymore. Leonid informs them about a visitor. Loen is unusually serious. He's here for an alliance proposal on behalf of his organization. The future of this world is at stake, as the power from the Ocean of Memories will destroy all of Mirrorland. Zoe smiles. It's only natural for the strong to protect the land. Looking towards the palace with her piercing gaze, she's confident in their next victory. The Neverfall troupe is performing a private play for Ninir's ecstatic elite. Shinyi is quietly observing them when a young actor approaches with new intel. Nodding, he tells him to send a copy of it to the other factions. The young man looks surprised, but it's just a symbol of gratitude for their regular clients. Mercury is flipping through a thick document as Vulture reports the latest information. The anomaly in Ninir comes from the Ocean of Memories and is now controlling the whole population. Deep in thought, he observes a picture of the manuscript. They must prepare for war. A new thought then lights up his face. The Ocean of Memories. What kind of power could it be? Now, I won't spend too much time on chapter 12 here, someday I'll get to it in my visual novel-ish summaries, and you can check out Angel's videos about it too. For now, what you need to know is that Nikki, Momo and Modric traveled to Ninir Royal City. The Queen election is ongoing, with Lilith as the most popular candidate of course, but the supporters seem to be under some kind of mind control. Lilith and Nightbane stole the original crystal from Pigeon, but Ophelia and Modric kept it secret even though they knew about it. Nikki discovers that everyone gathered for the big event, or maybe for the manuscript. Loen and Lolori, Mercury, the Justiciars, and the Neverfall troupe. In a dream, Nikki sees Yashao, who reminds her about Leonid's puzzle, and the Abyss, which is also a part of the Ocean of Memories. Concerned, she goes to see Ian, who shows her a broken mirror, Nightbane's, and explains how he's a demon born from the Abyss, where are contained all humans' darkest desires. Then, Lilith wins the election. The crowd is legit crazy and red roses bloom everywhere. Nikki receives an anonymous invitation to the coronation ceremony. Lilith sits like a delicate doll on her throne, and the abyss reflects in her empty eyes. When the sun rises, all roses will bloom, the wind will blow from the apple orchards, champagne will flow down the rivers. People will no longer speak, but sing together. I will choose the purest, the most cherished one, to stare at this kaleidoscope-like world through its most beautiful eyes. So I'll have everyone's eyes on me, all the beauty, all the love. At the ceremony, Nightbane is leading Lilith to the throne, where the original crystal shines bright. But suddenly he looks at Nikki with a sinister smile, and the manuscript slips out of her hands into the sky. Everything fades. And now there's only a shadow among the petals. She tells Nikki that when the manuscript, the lost soul, and endless power become one, the Trinity will be formed and the gate to the abyss will open. As she disappears, she warns Nikki. We can't let them get the manuscript. Momo's voice wakes Nikki up. Her mind is buzzing with questions. What is Nightbane's goal? Was he waiting for her to find the crystal and reawaken it with Ophelia? She turns to Loen and asks about his link to the first half of the manuscript. Oh, it's from an organization called Savior, he explains. They took it because people were endlessly fighting over it and the secrets it contained. He gave it to Nikki because Savior believed that only she could find the second part. She knows she has to attend the coronation, so she entrusts the manuscript to the organization once again. Loen will pass it on, as he'll attend the ceremony as well. Armed men are guarding a small black box when another man enters the room. As he recognizes him, one of the guards comes closer to talk, but he's suddenly hit by something and falls to the ground. The other men realize the danger too late. The intruder casually steps over his colleagues and opens the box where lies Leonid's manuscript, which Nikki gave back to Savior. As he touches the notes, a hollow darkness covers his eyes. He'll never allow Leonid's successor to win. Nightbane's palpitating with excitement at the sight of the manuscript, while the man stands next to him, impassive. The demon smiles. Once the Trinity is formed, he'll welcome the coming of God from the abyss. Hearing this, the man seems to regain focus. Wasn't Leonid's successor the one who would accelerate Mirrorland's destruction? Looking again at the manuscript, he realizes something and quickly pulls out his gun, but an overwhelming force prevents him from firing. His eyes lose focus again and he drops to the ground. Nightbane nonchalantly walks past his body. Humans are always so stupid. This world is full of darkness, evil, loneliness, and sorrow. Fill your glass and laugh at the end of days, for angels will finally descend and bring new glory to the land. Red petals are falling like crimson snow. The coronation will be held today. 24 Hours News Online is covering the Queen's coronation. After a pompous parade, Queen Lilith will go on stage. This is her second time being re-elected. During her reign, she launched an AR interactive game so people may never be alone. At Star Snow, she brought warmth and happiness, and she hosted the annual celebration for the Nightingale's return. With her, Ninir became an even more beautiful country. A previous interview with Lilith's servant is being transmitted before the ceremony. Despite being confident, the royal chef reported a soaring demand for desserts from the Queen due to anxiety. But she's ready for the ceremony now. As a final word to viewers, he wishes that their voice of greed never gets silenced. Queen Lilith walks onto the stage in front of a euphoric crowd. People scream, sing, dance, drink. Momo is terrified, but Nikki is too preoccupied to comfort him. Everything is just like in her dream. After Lilith's speech, Nightbane comes up to her, presenting something on a golden tray, but it doesn't look like a crown at all. With a solemn look, he says, "Ninir has prepared everything for you, the most beautiful soul, the purest power, and the key to the future. Let's present the last gift for Her Majesty." But he's not talking about Lilith. He then turns directly towards Nikki in the crowd with a chilling smile. The original crystal glows even stronger next to them, the glow from Ophelia's wings. And now the holy relic is but an accessory under the strokes of Lilith's fingertips. "I will give you the most beautiful dreams. I'll bring the greatest carnival in the world. Only I can cross time, defying life and death. What I want is endless life." Standing up, Lilith smiles. Let the real carnival begin. As the crowd's cheers become deafening, the crystal and manuscript on the tray shine with a light as bright as the sun. The world fades away around Nikki as she closes her eyes. Lilith's voice echoes around her. "Everything in the past is but a lie. Welcome to the real world of desire." Opening her eyes, Nikki sees a peaceful Ninir royal city. All her worries seemed so far away. She smiles. The queen on the throne smiles sweetly at the world on the verge of destruction. But it's not Lilith. "Dear people," she whispers, "give everything you have to me. I'm your queen and your goddess." From Ninir's highest point, she watches the city sink into darkness. Nightbane approaches, bowing humbly before his lady, and she praises his work, all while biting into an apple. The manuscript lost its light, so Nightbane discards it, letting it disappear into the growing darkness. Nikki is falling like a glimmer of light descending into an eternal night, but she's still immersed in her blissful dream. Then, a sad voice pierces the joyful silence. "Don't go near the abyss." Fragments of memories reach Nikki. A smashed violin, a feather dress, a beautiful couple dancing, a girl singing in a corner of the church. Finally she appears. It's Ashley. Standing on the burning stage, she's slowly turning to ash. "Don't fall into the abyss," she pleads. Tears are rolling down her cheeks, yet her voice stays firm. Don't give up your soul. You need to have faith in this world. Nikki lies on the seabed, deep in the ocean. There's no light, no Momo, only darkness. Feeling smaller than ever, she curls up. Don't be sad, my child. A soothing voice seems to come from the depth of her heart. She remembers all that happened at once, the petals, the crumbling ground, the goddess dwelling in Lilith's body. It's me. A figure of light and shadow appears in the abyss. She is the goddess in the name of desire, representing the most beautiful things, the master of the abyss and of Mirrorland. Promising her a new, better world, the goddess lures Nikki into the darkness with thoughts of happiness and home. There's Dad, Mom, her sister Yo-Yo. Nikki shakes her head in pain. She can't let her soul be devoured. So, despite the abyss's power, she decides to fight back. Nikki lost. She keeps sinking and her consciousness is slowly disintegrating. You desperately shout for her to wake up, and Nikki smiles. A long time passed since you both met at the Gate of Hearts, she said. Despite all the struggles you went through, Mirrorland's salvation always remained Nikki's priority. Her snowflake necklace starts glowing, as if guiding Nikki in the darkness. The light grows stronger, and she realizes it's Leonid manuscript, whole. Luminous strands intertwine and create a design sketch. It's only a piece of paper, yet it records the concise and objective truth of this world. Leonid's memory appears. He fell into the abyss, but it was just another step in his pursuit of truth. People's lives are short and insignificant, he goes on. They fade away just like stars. Thus, it's impossible for them to ever grasp the whole truth of the infinite universe. Looking softly at the manuscript in his hand, he reminds Nikki of Mirrorland's end. As long as people feel desire, the voice in the abyss will never cease to exist. But Nikki won't give up. There has to be a solution. The design Leonid once completed here in the abyss will now help Nikki escape from it. The light from the manuscript spreads and dances around Nikki. Even though he disappeared now, she still hears Leonid's voice. When you aren't swallowed by desire, it becomes your strength. There's nothing wrong with the desire for beauty, warmth, or love, but not everything is driven by desire. Neither should it bring distraction. The goddess sends her first mirage to the people of Ninir Royal City. Nikki opens her eyes as the world shifts around her. She's tiny, standing on a gigantic table covered with dishes. People appear around the table and start devouring all the food with their huge mouths. But they never have enough, and they keep eating the food appearing before them. Soon, they become giants and start swallowing the plates, the silverware, and even reach for Nikki. Composed, she gathers protective styling power around herself and finds the exit. The goddess is waiting for her, smiling. And seeing Nikki's revulsion, she simply replies that it was their own desire she granted them and made it more intense. The world shifts again, and Nikki stands in a church. Only what she hears aren't prayers, and the goddess stands in the place of the statue, listening to the worshippers' implorations. An old man clings to a chest full of gold. He wants more. He wants infinite wealth. As you wish, answers the goddess, as the walls turn to gold and the whole church starts to crumble, burying the old man. The mirage changes one more time. The church is now a small, dilapidated room. Outside, everyone is celebrating the new year, but the room is dark. Only the moonlight is reflected on the coins and gems on the floor. The old man is lying amidst this treasure, not even recognizing the voices of his children on the other side of the door, asking him to come out. As the bell strikes midnight, the last glimmer of light fades in his eyes. The next mirage appears. A young couple sits in the grass. The prince is impatient to get to power. He'll be the wisest monarch, and she will be the most beautiful queen in the kingdom. As he walks towards the throne, slashing his way through, the piles of corpses grow around him. His love then appears next to the throne, but his determination doesn't waver, and he raises his sword once again. The old king is standing in front of a mirror. The goddess is smiling on the other side. He's lost. Has he done too many unrighteous things? Spilled too much blood? The goddess asks him if he wants to give up his power then. No, he clenches his scepter. But then a young man comes in, just like the prince from the past, and the old king dies by the flash of a dagger. Another palace. Lilith is sitting alone on the throne and the goddess appears, standing before her. Lilith frowns. She's seen her before. She was the one who gave her the most beautiful body, but it's not enough. People will leave, die. She can't have eternal love. But if she gives her entire soul to the goddess, she will earn the whole world's eternal love. Nikki shouts in protest, but Lilith doesn't hear her. As if under a spell, she reaches out to the goddess. The mirages sent by the goddess reach their end and reveal the goddess's beautiful face. She condescendingly looks at Nikki. Did you think this is over? Now it's time for the ultimate duel with the goddess. Here in the game, you can either win directly or lose. As she's hit by the goddess, Nikki is engulfed in darkness. She grabs her snowflake necklace. It's glowing faintly. A calm voice awakens her. Desire will become your strength, Leonid says. Above Nikki is a sky full of stars, and many familiar voices resonate in her mind. Words of love, power, truth. You can do it. At last, a gentle female voice is heard, and her words gather the shining stars at Nikki's feet, giving her the power to rewrite the future. This is her strength. A beam of light bursts from the magical array, giving Nikki enough power to defeat the goddess. Well, here you might ask yourself, but what did everyone do while Nikki was fighting the goddess of desire in the abyss? Let's check on the 4 factions and how you helped them during the crisis. Here I of course chose Mercury. Let me know in the comments who you decided to help first. The collapse happened in an instant. The ground is breaking and the goddess bewitched the people of Ninir. The luxurious but sturdy hotel survived the disaster. Vulture walks hurriedly while giving out orders and dispatching teams with a solemn expression. Ninir's palace army is also under mind control and hostilities broke out between them and the Justiciars. As the group's new crew, you can choose your assignment: supply, rescue, or agent team. You can also seek help from the other factions. Everything to help Nikki fight the goddess. Oh yes, the CEO announced that the group has no true enemy. A convoy with the group's logo slowly drives through the city, an ammunition delivery for the Justiciars. Suddenly, mind control soldiers rush out from both sides of the road. Vulture shouts orders for the inevitable confrontation. During the battle, more people succumb to desire. Those who remain are all elites, and Vulture nervously dispatches his men. But he's not afraid. He doesn't need others to fulfill his desires. He'll get what he wants with hard work and talent. He's learned a lot at the sides of the CEO. Mercury listens to Vulture's report. The Justiciars contained the palace's army, and Zoe contacted the Neverfall troop. And the group's investigation team is back, and the results will be directly sent to New Wing Island's lab. The situation in the palace is chaotic, but their infiltrated men in the Ninir army guarantee the group's control. Mercury nods. But where's the manuscript? He asks. Sadly, its whereabouts remain unknown. The abyss opens below the cracked surface. As the goddess plunges the world into chaos, Momo is separated from Nikki and pushed over by the crowd. A hand grabs him. It's Loen, dressed like a Ninir royal guard, on a horse. The mind-controlled army is aiming at the civilians. Savior's base is in a deserted tower on the outskirts of the city. They need more manpower, so Loen recruits you as his teammate. The ground continues to break. A mind-controlled passerby trips and happily falls into the abyss, but Loen dashes towards him and pulls him back to safety. As he then turns towards you to warn you about the palace's army, soldiers rush out from both sides of the road. There are many desires, and the mirage keeps shifting. Loen sees how worried you are, but he reassures you. Even though we all have desires, and Nightbane used this to get the manuscript, there's something stronger in this world. Our beliefs and goals will guide us. The atmosphere in the room is solemn. Organization members discuss their own crisis. They kept the manuscript transfer a secret, so how did Nightbane learn about it and manage to break through their heavy defenses? Did one of them help him? Loen interrupts their worried discussion. Savior's current goal is to stop the destruction. They will investigate the missing manuscript afterwards. As the goddess's control expands over Ninir, you go to the Ninir Theater. It's empty and dim inside. An actor approaches Shinyi with the latest intel. The palace army is fighting the justiciars. The queen's coronation is a complete disaster. But now the troupe has to contribute too. To guarantee trust and good communication between factions, Shinyi needs good partners. The actor leaves and blends into the crowd outside. Shinyi then informs you about the current situation. The mirage is growing, so they have to help people break out through it. After the disaster, the theater has been emptied. You ask Shinyi if he would be tempted by the mirage of wealth. But since the troupe's establishment, they never encountered a financial crisis. And those who work for him are not, and should not be driven by a desire for money, right? At the theater entrance, you see Yashao. It was too late when she tried to give Nikki a hint, but the destruction is not irreversible. You don't really understand, but she knows you will find the answer with Nikki. Shinyi sits alone, holding a stack of sealed letters. The top one bears the Mercury Group's logo, but the justiciars are also an important partner of the troupe. Zoe needs timely intel to take the right decisions. They are all trapped in an intricate network, and if with scraps of information one person can find a path of truth, with a complete map, the troupe will find the best route. Shinyi has one more decisive letter to write and asks for your help in delivering it. The city's moat isn't calm as usual. The waves roar and crash against the shores. A huge angel sculpture crumbles from a roof nearby, and is about to crush a mother and her child, when a hail of bullets make it explode. The justiciars are here to help and recruit more warriors. Yiso is assigning tasks to the new members in the command room. He's tired from their previous mission in the Ninir Palace. Near Lilith's bedroom, they felt a terrifying force, and Zoe ordered them to retreat. And then, at the coronation, the queen grew horns and wings. And then Nikki rushed out, draped in black feathers, and fought her. For now, they have to deal with the palace army, track Nightbane and Lilith, and retrieve the original crystal. On the control panel, you see that all guns on deck are ready. Corleone explains how their weapons are even more powerful now that Caprico modified them. He offers to teach you how to use them, as a fellow mercenary. The battle is fierce between the justiciars and Ninir's soldiers. Zoe is confident in their victory, but as they get closer to the palace, the Mirage's influence becomes harder to resist. Only the strongest will be able to follow Zoe. Victory will be ours once again! The red and black logo has been a symbol of invincibility for a long time now. Zoe smiles coldly. Is the Mirage seriously that boring? It breaks apart with her words, and Zoe powers through to get closer to the goddess of desire. But her control gets stronger the closer Zoe gets, and she manages to overpower it. She doesn't long for victory alone. She mostly enjoys the process of reaching the top. The palace army retreats as Corleone's and Yiso's squad arrive as reinforcement. Ninir Royal City reappears, and the goddess's glow fades. But then, she seems to notice something incredible in Nikki. It's you. The abyss gradually disappears and people wake up. The goddess turns into red petals and vanishes into the wind. We will meet again. Nikki falls to her knees, looking at the sky with a tired smile. We did it! Momo's cries are suddenly heard as he rushes into Nikki's arms, covered in wounds and tears. People are oblivious to the coming of the goddess of desire and simply take the usual measures for an earthquake. Loen hurries over to Nikki and Momo. He apologizes for the manuscript, but it's alright, Mirland has been restored to its original state. Momo points to the crystal. It glows brighter now. Loen explains how it was born in the ocean of memories. With the power it contained, it allowed civilization to emerge in the Pigeon Forest and gave glory to the Elves of Light. And according to Zoe, he adds, Nikki will become an even greater warrior if she manages to use this power. But she won't try. After all, it belongs to Pigeon and Ophelia. Loen has to go now, but they'll meet again at the celebration party. It seems that those from the various factions didn't forget about the crisis like the civilians, so Nikki and you go to check on everyone. In the Mercury Group building, people are celebrating, and Mercury personally thanks you for your contribution during his speech. In the Savior's command room, Loen greets you with flowers, shining with dewdrops like medals, simple but precious, like the things we want to protect, he says. There might be a future chance for you to fight together. The Ninir Theatre has reopened after the earthquake, and the Neverfall troupe has adapted the plot. Their protagonist guarded the palace during the crisis, and Shinni's acting touched the audience. When you go to see the Justiciars, you meet with Zoe at the ship's bar for the party, where Corleone was impatiently waiting for you. Raising her glass to victory, Zoe praises your strength and courage. In the eternal darkness, the sound of waves echoes faintly. A memory appears. Nikki's travel to this era was like tossing a grain of sand into the ocean. The outcome is now unpredictable. Nikki is worried for you. While you were asleep, she couldn't sense your existence. But you're still tired, and the world becomes blurry and dark again. Nikki and Momo are waiting nervously while Ian checks the data. Since Nikki is connected to you through the Gate of Heart, he tries to catch energy fluctuations. Your friend must have run out of strength during the battle, he concludes, and Nikki sighs with relief. She has another concern though. Nightbane hasn't showed himself since she fell into the abyss. Ian isn't worried. He can't detect the demon's energy fluctuations in Mirrorland, so he won't be a threat for now. But he pauses for a moment. He explored the abyss during the crisis, he says, and even though he'd need more information, he is sure there are more demons in there. Shinji is talking with a young actor while doing his makeup. He learns from him that the Justiciars defeated Ninir's army. The teenager also reassures him that all their informers are still in place. The streets are full with people in uniforms. Mercury is discussing the situation with Vulture in the group's building. As neither Lilith nor the inhabitants and councillors remember what happened, she will continue to be the queen. The people surrounding her can always be replaced. The sun is shining, and life in Ninir Royal City resumed as always. Only collapsed houses and cracked roads remind people of the disaster. The Mercury group took on the reconstruction process, and Lilith gave a touching speech to express her sympathy to her people. On the huge blue screen, Glow is observing the entirety of Mirrorland. The numerical curves fluctuate violently around Ninir. Analysis result: the energy from the unknown area has invaded. Analysis complete. She then scans the memories of the Ninir citizens and the data from the Ocean of Memories, where abnormal fluctuations were also scanned. Everything is added to the database then. With everyone's help, Nikki saved Mirrorland from destruction and defeated the Goddess of Desire. Well, did you like this event like I did? Please share your favorite moment with me in the comments, and feel free to ask about anything too. In my next videos, we'll discover more about Leonid's past and the secrets hidden in the abyss. If you're still with me, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!